Welcome back to the channel, guys. Yesterday, April 23, 2026, Senate President Godswill Akpabio stood in the chamber and read a letter from President Bola Tinubu requesting approval for a fresh 516 million United States dollars external loan. The loan, sourced from Deutsche Bank as a syndicated facility, backed partly by the Islamic Corporation for the Insurance of Investment and Export Credit, ICIEC. The purpose of the loan? To construct sections 1, 1A, and 1B, about 120 kilometers of the ambitious 1,000-kilometer Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway. This is being pitched as a flagship project under the Renewed Hope agenda. But with Nigeria's debt already climbing and recent multi-billion-dollar borrowings, many Nigerians are asking, is this smart infrastructure investment, or are we digging a deeper hole? In this video, we'll go through the full details from the Senate session, what the project actually entails, the economic arguments for and against it, reactions from figures like Atiku Abubakar, public sentiment, and what it means for ordinary Nigerians. Stick around till the end for my balanced take. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's dive in. Let's start with the exact moments that sparked today's buzz. During plenary, Senate President Godswill Akpabio read President Tinubu's communication aloud. The letter states, approval is sought for the syndicated financing facility from Deutsche Bank in the total sum of 516 million US dollars for the execution of sections 1, 1A, and 1B of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway project. It cites sections 16 and 21 of the Debt Management Office Act and asks that this be included in the federal government's approved borrowing plan. The Federal Executive Council has already greenlit the financing. Akpabio referred the request to the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, directing them to report back within 1 week, signaling likely fast-tracking. After reading it, Akpabio himself spoke positively about infrastructure borrowing. Here's what he had to say about the project.
So I join you and my colleagues to commend Mr. President that in these difficult times, when we don't really have money, that it is better to borrow for projects. It's better to borrow for infrastructure so that at the end of the day, we'll have something to see. And then we can pay through even the infrastructure. Repayment can be done through the infrastructure. So this is highly commendable. And I urge the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to do a job and bring it back to us for expeditious approval.
He noted that such projects can sometimes repay themselves through economic activity they generate. He highlighted how the highway could slash travel time from Sokoto to Lagos from over 13 hours on bad roads to under 6 hours, boosting trade, agriculture, and national cohesion. This comes shortly after the Senate approved other large external loans, including parts of a broader $6 billion package earlier this year. The pattern? Infrastructure is being heavily funded via debt. This isn't a small road upgrade. The Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway is a massive 1,000-kilometer. Some reports say 1,068 kilometers high-capacity dual carriageway, often described as a 6-lane concrete road in sections. It starts from Ilela in Sokoto State, near the Niger border, and cuts through 7 states: Sokoto, Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, and ends in Badagry, Lagos State. It's designed as an inland northwest to southwest corridor, complementing the Lagos-Calabar coastal road. Goals include reducing logistics costs dramatically, improving access to ports for northern farmers and manufacturers, enhancing food security by linking production zones to markets, adding modern features, solar-powered lighting, CCTV for security, bridges, health posts, and even rail components in some visions. The specific sections funded by this $516M loan cover roughly 120 kilometers in the early phases, Section 1 and sub-phases in Sokoto area. The federal government plans to add 265 billion naira in counterpart funding for land acquisition, compensation, and related works. The loan terms. Reportedly, a 9-year facility with a 3-year grace period. Construction on initial Sokoto and Kebbi sections has already seen progress since the project was flagged off around late 2024, with concrete pavement work underway. Minister of Works David Umahi has been pushing these Renewed Hope road projects aggressively. President Tinubu's administration argues this is essential investment, not reckless spending. Nigeria needs modern infrastructure to unlock growth. Poor roads currently cost the economy billions in lost time, accidents, and spoilage, especially for agriculture from the north. With oil revenues seeing some windfall periods, proponents say now is the time to borrow for productive assets that generate future revenue tolls. Increase taxes from boosted commerce. Akpabio echoed this. Repayments can be done through the infrastructure itself. Broader context. This fits the Renewed Hope agenda's focus on big-ticket roads, power, and ports. Other ongoing projects include the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and various dualizations. Supporters point out that many developed nations built infrastructure via debt. However, Nigeria's total public debt has been rising sharply. External debt alone grew in recent years, with debt service eating a large chunk of revenue, sometimes over 60 to 90% in tough periods due to Naira issues. The 2026 budget has a massive deficit projected to be funded partly by more borrowing. On the flip side, criticism is loud. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar quickly faulted the request, calling it part of a pattern deepening the debt trap. He questions transparency, competitive bidding on big contracts, and whether we're borrowing amid all sales without enough fiscal discipline. Public reactions on X, from the cable's post, and others are mixed but lean skeptical. Senate has become a live loan approval show. Why borrow when we have crude oil windfalls? Rubber stamp Senate. They approve loans fast, but drag on minimum wage. Fears of toll gates to repay. Worries about contractors, some mention past big players, and corruption risks. Economists highlight risks. Naira depreciation makes dollar loans more expensive to repay. Debt sustainability is a real concern, as total debt approaches or exceeds 150 to 195 trillion naira in projections. Opposition parties like SDP have raised similar alarms on recent borrowings. Is the project overpriced? Will benefits reach ordinary people? Or will it mostly serve elites and politics? No competitive bidding concerns have surfaced again in some critiques. So, is this good or bad? Pros. A well-built superhighway could transform connectivity, cut travel times by half, boost trade between north and south, create jobs during construction, and support long-term growth. Infrastructure deficits have held Nigeria back for decades. Cons. Adding to external debt in a high-interest, volatile forex environment is risky. Without revenue growth or anti-corruption safeguards, it could burden future generations. Transparency on contracts, costs, and timelines is crucial. My view: productive infrastructure is worth borrowing for if executed with value for money, proper oversight, and measurable outcomes. But Nigerians deserve accountability, regular updates on progress, audits, and alternatives like public-private partnerships or domestic funding where possible. For citizens, watch for job opportunities in affected states, but also potential tolls or indirect costs. This project could be transformative, or another white elephant if poorly managed. To wrap up, today's Senate move puts a $516 million Deutsche Bank loan for the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway on the fast track. It promises to link North and South like never before under Renewed Hope, but it reignites debates on Nigeria's growing debt burden. What do you think? Game changer for infrastructure or risky borrowing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Be respectful. Should the Senate approve quickly or scrutinize more? If you found this detailed breakdown helpful, like the video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more in-depth Nigerian news, politics, and economy explainers. Hit the bell. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay critical. See you soon.